To common folk, it might be a tree, but to us horticulturalists, it's Aloe Benicio. Araucaria culinaris. Some people might just call it a pine tree. And this here is Ficus Altissima. Now, I don't expect you to study botanical names every night for the rest of your life, but when it comes to grass, this one here is completely different to this one here. And the way you look after it and the way you get it to look good's different too. So let's tackle it, and I guarantee in 3 minutes, you'll be an expert. Now, when it comes to the backyard lawn, I think there's nothing I take more pride in. But realistically, there's about 3 grasses that most of us have. They'd be kikuyu, cooch, and buffalo. They're all warm season grasses, and there's a few other ones that we might have around the country. But what have you got to do to look after them and make them look their absolute best? Well, it's pretty easy, but it's different for all 3 grasses. This one here is kikuyu. Now, it's probably the most common grass around Australia that you'd see on a local park or footy field. And the reason why, this stuff will recover quickly. But if you've got it in the backyard, because it's recovering quickly, it also means it's growing quickly, which means it's high maintenance and it sends out runners. But if you have a look at it, it's a broadleaf grass, and the more you mow it, the flatter it'll get, and it stays green all year round. When frost hits it, it's still got a green growth to it, which is a pretty good feature for a weedy lawn. These 5 through here are cooches. Now, cooch is the finest leaf grass. It's what you'd find on a putting green or maybe a bowling green. But the problem with it is it's really high maintenance. You can see even here at the Botanic Gardens that there's lots of weeds in them. Being such a narrow leaf, it means the ground's exposed to the sun, seeds germinate, and things like clover pop up and get out of control. It also sends out lots of runners, and it's very hard to get it out of the garden bed. So it can be a tad high maintenance and a little bit weedy. These 5 here are all softleaf buffaloes, and this is what I got at home. It's Sir Walter. Now, as you can see, in all 5, they're just slightly different shades of green, different sized blade of grass, but the one thing I do notice, there's not one weed in any of them, because that broadleaf grass is choking everything out. So I'm going home to do a little bit of maintenance and love on my lawn, and I'll teach you what to do for yours. Summer can be the toughest time on your lawn. It's the time you're outside the most, wearing and tearing it because you're dancing on it, whether you're playing cricket or just entertaining. All that wear and tear can make your lawn look tired. So a little bit of love, help it recover, and there'll be plenty more days out here having fun. First thing I'm going to do is aerate it to decompact it. Now, if you've got cooch, kikuyu or buffalo, it's all exactly the same way. Aerate it, get some runners, and I'm going to show you a special way that you can peg them down so they won't dry out and recover this area without buying any turf. Now, aerating that soil will promote the growth from the sides to grow in, and if I feed it and water it, it'll repair itself in about 1 season. But if I want to speed it up even more, go over your existing lawn, find a healthy part. If you get your fingers in there, you can feel the runners and just pull one out, and you can see all these aerial roots here. When I put them in contact with the soil, keep them moist. And the best way to do that is to push some pegs down over them. You could use an old coat hanger to make these if you didn't want to buy them. Keeps them in place, and then it's recovering from the sides. You've got these in the middle, and it'll speed up the process. It'll happen in half the time. Best thing about it, all of these have cost me nothing, and you can't even tell that I've taken them out of the lawn. Now, getting rid of clover is a tricky one. If you try and pull it out, you'll get some of it and you won't be able to see anything, and you think you've solved the problem, but you've left a lot in the ground, and it's going to come back twice as hard because all you've done is tip prune it and you've made it happy and healthy, and it'll take over your lawn. An easy way to get rid of it is just a tiny splash of water, like I'm talking a mouthful of water, a couple of drops of your favourite herbicide, mix that up, shake your fingers until they're not dripping, and then just touch the clover. And then you can mow in a couple of days' time, take all this clover away, and the grass underneath will actually be greener because clover is full of nitrogen. And that's why our farmers like it. But in our lawns, not so good. So when's the best time to feed your lawn? Well, it's actually before it looks like it needs it. Now, I've been busy through spring and my lawn, I'm sorry, has been neglected. But the good thing about this buffalo booster is it's got a wetting agent. So I'll put it on, it'll green up straight away, and any rain that falls from the sky or anything that I splash on will go down nice and deep, creating deep roots and a more drought-tolerant lawn. So just throw it out like you're feeding the chooks. But a little tip, move where you're standing, because when you come back, you tend to drop a bit. If you stand in the same spot and do it time and time again, you'll put too much fertiliser here and you run the risk of burning it. And it definitely won't be even at best. But if you don't have buffalo, Mums have got you covered because they've got a whole range of fertilisers. This one here is organic and you only have to do it twice a year because it's slow release. That's every 6 months. Even I can remember that. Once you've fed it, give it a good drink, especially where I put those runners, and the fertiliser will start to work. You should see a difference within 7 days, but I guarantee you, keep up that process and you'll see a difference for life.